So this is a compilation by Meryl and Heather and our other colleagues, Georgie, and our Cairns team. Just a bit of a brief synopsis of what's happening here. Our settlement agency, Multicultural Development Australia, decided that they will keep the LAC coordination meetings going, which is something I think may only be happening in Queensland. So this has been a fabulous opportunity to make sure we've still got that coordination happening. They do have some tricky things in there around their key priorities, and health has been not seen as a priority, but I think we're going to bring that back out and making local health issues as well as that really strategic planning that needs to happen, so that we, just like in COFs where we had 6 people arrive in January and 158 arrived last Monday. So, service delivery for all providers, it's just a nightmare. We have really great collaboration within our sector, so we can't do it without each other. Working across our Queensland Refugee Partnership Advisory Group, I think there's 29 organisations part of that group. We have a statewide clinical advisory group, looking at the guidance around what we need to do clinically and feeding that back into those local services and supporting them in that process as well. We've seen some great communication through RNA coming out for Toowoomba and Armidale, working with the Yazidi populations, and that's been a real strength of our network, doing great work. And also being able to support our peers in more regional areas. So for Meryl and myself, being in an urban space, we've got that critical mass of being close together and a lot more clinicians. So being able to outreach to those regional nurses and provide that support has been really important. Big challenges. HSP is a real tick and flick procedure about English education and employment, but at the real coalface, health is the priority, and they're never going to get the other 3 tick boxes if they don't address health. And at the moment we've got one tender owner for the state, and they're progressively taking out their subcontracted settlement agencies, and that's creating, let's just say, what did you say, Sandy, with New South Wales? Just mess. And every day is putting out fires and really wasting our valuable time. So again, wanting to, there's no strategic pre-planning around settlement, that continuity of care, so we've got some real challenges with some of our providers, GPs staying in the space, but also where GPs don't actually transfer health information onto the next GP. There's some real barriers in that space, and we've got to really try and address that. And then high turnover of settlement staff within the agencies. That's another problem. Some opportunities, the partnership really around health literacy, developing new strategies to do that. How do we work together? Our PHNs, our torture trauma QPAST, our TAFE, health services, just bringing together how do we work together, partner, and get health literacy out there to workforce as well as our community. So there's a few activities that have been happening. We did some great true relationships, have done a great job in health to work with students, people wanting to get into health employment, and people have got employment through that process, which has been fabulous. Some work to be done around how do we mentor our nurses with a refugee background, and so really something I'm really wanting to take on and see how we do that better, and it's about who you know, how do we network people into that space. Toowoomba are doing some online learning packages for GP practices, getting them refugee ready, and some literacy programs, and then doing some work within their organisations like their emergency departments. So that's Queensland.